It's 1994, and you're standing on Park Avenue shooting what will become your most acclaimed role. Your name is Linda Fiorentino, and the film is The Last Seduction. You do not know yet that it will air on cable before it hits theaters, and that technicality will keep you from Oscar consideration. Right now, the light is good, the director is happy, and a cab driver missed his light because he was looking at you. After a decade in the business, you are thinking that this is the beginning of something. Years later, you're sitting across from the notorious Hollywood private eye. A producer has ripped you off. Money, a credit, the specifics will blur. And Anthony Pellicano says that he can help, so you hire him. Many will wonder if your relationship was more than just business. Because years after that, you meet an FBI agent at Elaine's on 2nd Avenue. He's from Washington. He does counterterrorism. And within weeks, he will transfer to New York to be closer to you. He'd do anything for you. Oh, really? Because now that he mentions it, your old friend Anthony is in a bit of trouble. He's on trial for racketeering, identity theft, illegal wiretaps. He's the kind of operator who has left a dead fish on a nosy reporter's windshield with a rose in its mouth and a sign that said, "Stop." So the FBI agent sits at his desk at the bureau and types a name into a computer. Anthony Pellicano. He does this 40 times. Then he prints a confidential document and hands it to you over dinner. And you give it right to the private eye's lawyers. Anthony is convicted and sentenced to 15 years. The agent loses his career. But powerful men take care of those who take care of them. And later, when the agent is wrapped up in a scheme to bribe the governor of Puerto Rico, the reality star turned president makes it go away. And you discover that what you thought was the beginning was actually the end, and you quietly retire. This week on Wait a Second, we're talking about James Dolan, in-arena surveillance, gambling busts, and the weirdest year in the NBA. Welcome to Wait a Second. I'm Jason Concepcion. That's Tyler Parker.
What's up?
Today we're joined by the co-host of No Fouls Given, Wosny Lambre. Great to have you in studio.
I'm happy to be here.
I wish we had overlapped more significantly.
That would have been sick.
And today we're going to talk about the Knicks. We're going to talk about Madison Square Garden. We're going to talk about James Dolan in the wake of this Wired piece that came out in collaboration with Pablo Torre Finds Out, titled The Shocking Secrets of Madison Square Garden's Surveillance Machine, written by Noah Shackman and Robert Silverman. Full disclosure, I wrote a book with Robert Silverman, so that's my guy. Some key takeaways from the piece. The Knicks gave up an absolutely atrocious loss to the Hawks last night. That's the first takeaway.
That's the takeaway from the surveillance.
First things first. Despicable loss. It can't be where Jalen Brunson and whoever passes Jalen Brunson the ball are the only guys that touch the ball for multiple possessions at a time. That can't be the case.
Right.
Karl Anthony Towns is like popping out, and you just know he's not going to get the ball. Like he's got it, whatever. Other takeaways. MSG security intensely tracked the movements of a transgender Knicks fan who is going so far as to log the amounts of time she spent in the bathroom. Dolan's security operation extended beyond the confines of MSG to his other related properties, Radio City, The Sphere. Pablo on this pod talks about an anecdote in which MSG calls the cops on a Colorado teen who was apparently taking shots at Dolan online. MSG the banned list includes employees of law firms involved in lawsuits against Dolan properties and fans who wore sell the team shirts or yelled at Dolan to sell the team. And we should say that MSG has issued a response saying that the story was false, misleading, and unverified allegations. What is it like to report from MSG?
Man, you know what's so funny? I've only ever been there under our current jobs once. Mm-hmm. And I did not go. I didn't want to deal with MSG PR because I've heard
They're infamous.
I've heard things. So what ended up happening is I was friends with somebody who's an employee.
Yeah.
And I just ended up getting taken to the media section. And I saw my guy Bontemps. I saw who else did I see? I saw a few people. Ian Begley.
Grady and Begley,
I saw a few Fred Katz.
Freddie.
Yeah, so I saw all my New York guys in the media section, but I didn't go through MSG. And when I had went, this was after, because Ethan had put out something about the kid who was talking shit about Dolan online getting harassed at the game.
Right.
And so I was like very conscious of this as I'm walking. I'm like, I mean, I'm sure I've said shit about James Dolan in my life. I might even said it on Bill, which is like, you know, an easy way to get noticed for saying something. But I've only ever been once, and I didn't go through the media channels, the PR channels.
Yeah, my main thought reading this very lengthy piece was that my name's got to be, like, they have to have me on something. Right. I did go to a game, like, I went to a Christmas Day game 2 years ago. Didn't seem to be a problem.
Did you go as media or did you get a regular ticket?
No, I just got a regular ticket.
Yeah. But surely they can...
I guess
that activates too, right? Like that's got to be that's got to trip. Yeah.
Maybe the facial recognition wasn't like on point. Maybe I look terrible now. Like I look different.
Sure. I thought you were going to take that somewhere else. I was about to say, wait a second, Jason.
Maybe I look significantly different or something. But you know, but like I've on stuff that I used to do here at the Ringer, NBA Desktop, we had a Sell the Team episode of NBA Desktop. We had an episode where, you know, we set the Knicks tragedies to the tune of Les Mis. Like, but this is, I'll say this. I'll defend Dolan in this way. While it certainly seems like Dolan is an outlier in terms of the way he is willing to use these technologies and his own kind of private security force as like tools against people he does not like people who yell "sell the team" at him, etc. Any arena that you walk into has this stuff, and it may just be that these other owners are wiser in the way that they broadcast how they use it. Because like Intuit Dome is one that I think of. Like,
have you been for a Clippers game?
So first of all, you can't get in without downloading the app. The app is harvesting all kinds of data from your phone. They do take your biometrics. You can opt out of it, but it's like one line is you just go straight through. The other line is like goes around the arena.
Which one are you going to pick?
Certain incentive structure. Yeah.
Well, it's also like if you're it extends to the concession stands areas, right? So if you're going to try to go get something to eat fast and get back to your seat like they want you to, it almost only makes sense for you to do the facial recognition, or else you're having to stand there and deal with one of the people who's working it, who is only sometimes there, and then you got to hand them a credit card, and there's a whole process. Everything is incentivized like, hey, just show us your face.
So I went very early on into the first Clippers season at Intuit, did the whole thing, the app, the download, the facial recognition. For a fact, I never uploaded my payment information. So I got a dog, a burger, and a pizza for free.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah, it never... Because they encourage you to just take the shit.
Yeah, they want you to just
keep it pushing.
Yeah.
Right. Never got charged
but you
for
didn't
it.
have to. You didn't.
Allegedly, Steve.
Come get me, Balmer. You want your $50? Come find me.
It feels like he's doing well. Like he can spare it.
So I did pay for that.
Could you get through the gate though, or are you at a different area where you can just?
So it was in the Grey Goose Lounge. I don't know what the sponsorship is now. Yeah. But you go in and it's like almost like a cafeteria. You grab. Oh no,
Tyler! I'm so sorry.
No, we're all good. It's barely left.
I grabbed because you said grab,
and you said
Jesus. What were we talking about?
We were talking about
Intuit. Intuit is not necessarily special in this way, but they take your data and they do lots of stuff with it. Intuit, I think, is kind of like on the forefront in the way that it collects data about you, they have a system called the behavioral reinforcement system. You know about this?
No.
So they have Bluetooth and ultra wideband sensors in the seats. So they know how loud you are cheering and if you're standing up a lot, like if you're engaged. And they take that and they make it a score, and that, they say, can be used, like if you have a good score, to get promotions on tickets, breaks on food, et cetera, but
I think they often announce like this was the loudest fan of the fan
they
of the
will do that.
game because they were their seat was whatever that.
Man.
And not to single them out, MSG does this too, but they take all the data that they get from you goes somewhere else. So for instance, if you connect to arena Wi-Fi, which don't connect to arena Wi-Fi, but if you do, use a VPN. But even if you don't, your phone is like looking for signals all the time, right? So when it's looking like, hey, is there a Wi-Fi here? Is there a cell tower here? It's telling the sensors that are looking for that, like, here's the names of my, like, the Wi-Fis that I connect to a lot. So it knows your home Wi-Fi address and name. Wow. It knows your work Wi-Fi address and name, probably.
Christ. Right.
And then and from that, they know where you work now, they know where you live, and they can triangulate all sorts of stuff. If you do connect to the Wi-Fi, you're probably giving it your email address, your phone number, your contact list, your social media profiles, and all that stuff gets like chopped up. The arena sells it, passes it on to a data broker vendor, and then that stuff goes everywhere. Like, one of the ways that the government right now like avoids having to get warrants for people, especially with like the immigration enforcement that's going on, is rather than have to go to a judge and be like, I want to search this person's computer, et cetera, they just go on the open market and be like, has this person been to an arena? Like, has their phone connected to any public Wi-Fis? What can I get? What can I just buy? And that's how they will get information that goes to DHS, the FBI, ICE. It's like and that's every arena. So while Dolan is, I mean, he comes away like looking like a madman on this.
He comes away these are like the behaviors
he is
of
a madman.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
And a loser. I think that's another thing that needs to be established. Like, this is a loser who's doing loser shit.
Let me get the profile and then the full face like this. So
I'm not gonna go to a Knick game anytime soon. It'll be fine.
It's just so petty.
Yeah,
it feels like with Dolan, where he's score settling with internet dudes.
Yeah.
Like an internet dude said you should sell the team, then came to MSG and paid to sit there. Like, he put money in your pocket.
Yeah, it's
at
a
the
win
end of the
for
day.
you.
Like, but he's so, I guess, insecure. He's such an insecure guy that this kind of stuff drives him up a wall. And I just find it to be kind of funny, to be honest. And it's just so funny that this drops literally in the most consistently competent era of Knicks basketball.
That's the thing.
In 30 years. Literally.
20 plus for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I guess you could say the Sprewell years was like 3-4 years.
Yeah,
just like this has been.
Yeah. But
like, since the Pat Riley years, which he wasn't involved in because his daddy hadn't given him the team yet.
Had not fully given him control.
And by the way, from reading Ethan and watching Pablo, like, and I guess this might have been before he sold the Tao Group, which is like Tao the Restaurant, Lavo, all this other shit. I'm just like, man, am I gonna be able to go to these fucking places?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's so weird. Like, I was just like, man, I would be mortified if I showed up to the fucking Tao in Hollywood,
and they're like,
because somebody invited me for drinks, and they're like,
you can't come in.
Nah, kid.
Yeah.
You're not on. You're on a certain list.
You'll get handed some like you're trespassing summons from them. That's like what happens to those people that go to MSG that try to get in or whatever. They get handed. They're literally handed like you are trespassing.
So some of the biggest things that MSG and associated properties have done is, one, there's the lawyer ban. This one's kind of famous. It dates back to 2018. Any law firm that is involved in any kind of litigation against a Dolan associated business.
Yeah.
Dolan used and his head of security used like the photos of the people that are on the website for the law firm, fed that into the facial recognition, and now like every employee of that company cannot enter an MSG related property. So there's a story in there about like a lady who's a administrative assistant at a law firm, and she was trying to go to
take her daughter.
That's so freaking
to see like the Rockettes at Christmas time.
That's nuts.
And they turn her away.
There is the targeted surveillance, as he said, about the transgender fan and also the teenage fan in Colorado, and the fact that the surveillance now kind of like extends out into the street. Like they'll see you coming on the block. Once you step on the block, they'll be like that one.
They'll follow people, sort of well beyond the bounds of MSG proper. They'll also he'll send people hundreds of miles away to just go try to spy on Charles Oakley so he can dig up some shit on him.
So what's another? And I hate to do this again because like Adam Silver's kind of become like my whipping boy.
Sure,
I mean,
it's just very hard for me to imagine this would happen under David Stern. That like this shit could come out and it would be like, yo, bro, you have to cut this out.
Yeah,
we're not telling you how to run your team, but like this is unnecessary. And it's bad for our product to be having this kind of public relations out there to the fans, like, and it's like it's making it hot for everybody else where it's like, wait a minute, everybody else's facial recognition and selling people's data and all of that stuff. It's like Adam couldn't be bothered to be like, yo, Dolan, like, come on, bro.
I mean, recall that the Donnie Walsh, Isaiah Thomas years had become so toxic at a certain point that David Stern was like, you got to hire Donnie Walsh. Sorry. You got to do it. You have to. I'm making you hire former Pacers GM Donnie Walsh. You must hire him.
Who was really good in his job.
He was great. He was great in his job. Like he
got fired because he was like, maybe we shouldn't trade 80 picks and all of our young players for Carmelo Anthony. Like we could sign the guy outright in the summer. Like maybe we could just chill out.
Yeah.
And then got fired. Shit canned. One of the best GMs in recent memory.
He was a very solid GM and kind of
best Nick GMs.
He had established kind of like a proto culture that was not really allowed to take root before they flipped the script. But it's actually kind of a model for what they're doing now in the sense of, the Knicks aren't doing anything different than they used to do, which is like hunt stars. They're just doing it in a smarter, more systematic way, which is what Donnie Walsh was like trying to do. And I will say that part of Dolan's argument, he went on like Fox 5 and he talked about, well, with the facial recognition and the lawyers, if you don't want somebody in your house that's trespassing in your house, why should you let them in your house, right? And now the thing that makes that not work,
the least charismatic dude in the world,
right?
Trying to talk you into
the
this.
reason that doesn't work as like a metaphor is that, I mean, for one, MSG gets like $400 million in tax breaks a year. Like they pay no property taxes. Because they're a public utility, a public good, a public space.
It's a public trust.
And so it's like, you're talking about like $1 billion plus in money that stays in Dolan's pocket because of the position of the place. It sits on a major transit infrastructure. There's, the fact that
unbelievable where the Knicks are located in Manhattan.
It's crazy.
You really sit and think about it. It's literally in the middle of the city with all of these great transit options to get there. You could walk to various places. Like, it's just in an unbelievable part of the city.
One of my favorite things that he did is now because of there's been various lawsuits related to the lawyer thing.
Dolan talking to Lisa Evers, by the way, is just one of the funniest things that could possibly. It probably wasn't Lisa Evers, but that's who's in my head. Like, this guy went on Fox 5. Like, this guy is nuts, dude.
What's your favorite local news? New York news.
My guy was Ernie Anastos.
Ernie Anastos.
Yeah, that was my guy. Didn't he pass away?
He did pass away, I believe. Connie Chung and Ernie Anastos.
Connie Chung is a legend.
Yeah, those are my two.
Definitely the two.
So because of a suit related to the lawyer thing, the state liquor license board got involved.
Whoa.
Because MSG is legally a place of public accommodation, and any place that is legally presented as that, they have to get their liquor license like updated all the time. And if you service more than 2,500 people, you have to do that constantly. Well, because of this lawsuit and the ban, the liquor board was like, we're going to review your license. Dolan goes on Fox 5, holds up a photo of the head of the liquor board, announces the guy's address on the air.
Wow.
And says, hey, something to the effect of, if you want to let this guy know how unhappy you are, that the government is reaching its tentacles into the pocket of a beloved institution like Madison Square Garden, send him a letter or call him up or whatever. I mean,
this guy is a maniac.
I mean, I have a theory, because you always hear like money doesn't buy happiness, and that's true. And but we always have this perception like, man, if I had $1 billion, you couldn't tell me nothing. I'd buy a mansion somewhere, and whatever anybody said, I wouldn't care. But in reality, what happens, I think, is all your anxieties stay there. They're the same. But now you have all this money to throw at it. And you're like, and where like some guy comes at me, whatever, in the comments of a YouTube video or on the BS subreddit. I saw the people who were like, oh, I see the Ringers doing Pablo Finds Out. They got their own, and it's not because he's another Filipino. It's not because it's like both hosts are Filipino. Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. But if I had several $1 billion, I could imagine being like, hey, find out who that guy is.
Yeah.
Go to, let's find out about what can we find out about that guy.
I've had those feelings before,
and I think that's what's going on here. And I think, if anything, I think you said something smart, which is like, he's making the block hot for all these other arenas who have this technology, and who knows what they're doing with it. Yeah. But now it's like people are, because of him, people are being like, wait, what are you doing with my face? Like, how long do you keep it for? Where does it go?
These are excellent questions, and then you just see the palanterification of every single space. And look, I don't want to get crazy.
Get crazy.
I don't want to.
That's what this place is for.
But like, there's certain I got certain conspiracy theories.
Yes, let's hear it.
Where
Good.
like motherfuckers is like, oh, some old lady at the McDonald's in Altoona recognized Luigi Mangione.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here, bro.
Yeah.
That's not what happened. That McDonald's kiosk took his fucking picture
like,
and put that motherfucker in a database.
Yeah.
I see all this Waymo shit, and like, man, we were in San Francisco for All-Star Weekend, and it's the last night is Sunday night, and I went to one thing and I went to this other thing, and they were like selling tacos. And I'm drunk, and I'm having tacos, and it's the end of the night, and so it's like a fleet of these fucking Waymos
right
coming down. One, I'm just like, this is just surveillance.
San Francisco, there are, if you have not been in San Francisco,
uncomfortable.
Now, there are so many Waymos. It's impossible to overstate how many Waymos are there now.
So a fleet comes driving down the block, orderly. It's almost like a Nazi march, but robotic.
Yeah.
And because I'm drunk and I'm just in my whatever, and I'm like, they're gonna put guns on those things one day.
Oh yeah.
And shoot us.
They're already swiveling.
That's what they're going to do.
Recently, in Ukraine, in occupied Ukraine, the Ukrainians won a battle. They took a position. I don't know if you could call it a battle technically, but they took a Russian position using only robots.
Wow.
They just like rolled little ATVs with guns and shit on them, and had drones overhead, and took the foxhole.
I love it.
And to me, this is all related. You know what I mean? Like like this idea, and I think people are waking up to it, because I think when we were growing up, this idea that technology was going to be used to open up the world.
We're going to cure cancer, man.
We're going to be connected. You're going to be able to talk to somebody in Beijing from Bayside, Queens.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like all of this utopian shit, and everybody's woken up to like, No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's only used for money and oppression. Like, they're never going to use this shit to help us.
Whatever good thing that exists that they could do with this stuff, even if that stuff gets done.
You're going to get a break on concessions and into it.
Exactly.
You
Yes.
might get that.
a
Come
good
on
break
now.
on that. I did save $40
Even when
that
it's
one
this
time.
little, even if it's when it's this, it's possible for there to be these little incremental goods along the way. These people that are in charge of these tech companies that are doing this stuff, they seem too depraved to stop at just the good stuff. Because they just go beyond.
Because here's my thing too. It's like, and I get it. I'm getting really crazy, but like I've lost all trust in all of these tech institutions. But it's like, you get in a Waymo and you're like, I'm going to the mall.
Yeah.
But you got a police warrant. And they lock you in the car and then
Sure.
they just take you to the fucking
Oh, yeah,
police.
that will happen.
Sure.
I'm sure that will happen.
100%.
Yeah, that will
That's
happen.
where they're going to take that.
I'm
That
sure.
will happen. That
Period.
100% that will happen.
And it won't be because you actually, it's just like, no, we want to talk to you.
Yeah.
You got in that Waymo, facial recognition, haul his ass off.
And by the way, I mean, this will surprise no one, but like testing on facial recognition algorithms have proven that it's less accurate on darker skin faces. So of course, that's where they're going to be making. They're going to be making the mistakes on that. Hey,
sorry, buddy, I'm going to be fine.
Sorry about that. And it's hard for me. I'm watching the game the other night, and I'm thinking, I wonder if David Zaslav is worried about it, sitting courtside, or any of these other folks. Like, how much do you think?
Well,
Timothy Chalamet is like, man, they got me.
I mean, one of the things. Chalamet, he's going to be real careful when he goes on 7th of Brooklyn next time, so he doesn't say anything wrong. Is that what it's called? 7th of Brooklyn?
7 p.m.
7 p.m. My bad. Sorry.
I got Tune Day.
Sorry, Mello. Sorry, Tune Day. They talked. One of the points in the piece that I thought was so interesting was that whenever Dolan did do what he did to Oakley initially, and have him carried out of MSG by like 7 security and police officers or whatever else, that was kind of a shot across the bow of like, we'll do this to Oak.
Yeah,
no, for sure.
We'll do this to a fan favorite.
We'll
like,
do this to anybody.
If you think I won't do this to some, I will do this to anyone.
Now, Oak is a wild guy.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, you come on. Like, you wouldn't see this at any other team that, especially one that really has tried in the last 15 years or so to like invest itself in the legacy and history of the teams that have been good in that building.
Yeah, the Nets would never do this to Jason Williams. No shit.
No, never. Mirza Teletovic, he's not getting treated like that.
Mirza Teletovic. So other places that do this, that use facial recognition, NFL, all 32 stadiums.
Of course.
Use a facial authentication for staff, while the Cleveland Browns and Atlanta Falcons have fan-facing versions. Gillette Stadium is implementing it for the 2026 World Cup. So within a few weeks, that will be active there. MLB has 7 stadiums using go-ahead facial recognition entry. The Phillies, the Astros, the Giants, Nationals, Royals, Reds, and Rays. Citi Field and Coors Field use different kind of facial capture hardware. The NBA and the NHL is into it, which uses Game Face ID. Capital One Arena, the Wizards and the Capitals, and which, by the way, if you're going into the Wizards game, they should put your face like on it. Should be like go on a poster. What are you doing?
It's the behavior of a deviant.
The Wizards.
Come on. Prudential Center, the Devils, have a similar system. UBS Arena for the Islanders. Amarant Bank Arena, which is the Carolina Panthers, and then special venue SoFi and the Sphere, a Dolan property, use persistent facial enrollment to automatically archive and search every face that enters. And of course, read your terms of service. Here's a good usage for, if you've got a free account to ChatGPT or Claude, just take your terms of service, drop it in there, and be like, you don't even need like a paid account to do this, and just be like, what does this mean? And it'll tell you like how long they used your face for, how long they might save it for, and where it goes, what they might sell it for. I mean, it'd be interesting to know Like what the actual economy, like what?
I really hope my face catches a really high price. I hope they're paying top dollar for my face. I'm sure they're not.
By the way, and there's like tech people who like I follow, and I follow their work, and they're more, what's the word? They're more trusting of where this is all going. Like what they'll say is like, nobody's sending your individual name, address, blah, 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 blah. You fit into a profile of a person and they send it off so that Facebook can sell you jeans with 7 zippers on them.
Sure.
Right? And that it's not this hyper focused on you type of thing, but I just like, it's sitting there.
I would have believed that before AI.
Yeah.
Because now the thing is they don't need a guy.
Right.
They don't need a guy reading your file. They just feed it into the thing and it'll be like, boop, boop, boop. This guy fits
this is probably who it is.
Yeah, this guy fits the profile of this.
Yeah.
I searched, I don't know why. I searched cowboy hats the other day. And now I'm getting all these ads on the playoff game for like Tecovas for Western gear.
Tecovas really, you're going to be getting a lot of ads from Tecovas. I've as someone who has purchased cowboy boots before and checked Tecovas site and not bought Tecovas.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of activity from Tecovas at all times, really.
What do you think Adam Silver could do? Like we mentioned that David Stern basically forced Donnie Walsh on the Knicks. But like what could he actually say, and what do you think Stern would do if this was going on right now?
So I think it's just you just play dirty. Like, for instance, like the Utah Jazz doing their egregious fucking tanking.
Yeah.
Frozen envelope your ass. You getting the worst pick possible.
Sure.
Watch. And I dare you to prove it, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just like, all right, we're gonna strategically air some of this guy's dirty laundry through somebody else, some other way. Like,
right.
You just play dirty. That's it. Like, it's not like this, I sent you a sternly worded letter and I tried to rally some other owners on behalf.
Right.
It's like, no, you gotta play dirty. I know where the bodies are buried, motherfucker.
David famously said that.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the only way to wrangle some of these guys. And I get it. Like Adam Silver works for James Dolan to a certain extent, but I don't believe that he's just this powerless actor who just has to do whatever the owners say. At a certain point, you did triple the fucking TV contract. That's got to come with some kind of professional cachet.
Some kind of juice.
Yeah.
Well, Dolan hates it. Just whatever happened with the new TV deal, Dolan is the loudest voice hating all of that.
I think the RSN of it all is where he's kind of chapped because he's one of the few people that still was making a lot of money off the RSN.
He's also demanded that the league like audit its finances and say, and like, who are all these people? Who are all these executive vice presidents? What do they do on a daily basis? And he's like,
I don't want to snitch on myself, but hey, man, the league is a very generous league. I'll say that.
All right. Well, this is one chapter in what I think has been one of the weirdest seasons in the NBA. Like, let's talk about Operation Royal Flush because
before we go to that.
Sure, yes.
There was an anecdote in the piece that one of the two writers, while reporting a story in 2013, witnessed a Knick really going to work on a huge bucket of popcorn in the locker room.
Okay.
And apparently was, quote, hustled off to the side by an MSG communications staffer who promised that if this detail found its way into the piece, our relationship is over. My question.
2013.
So I've got the roster
Ray
here.
Felton.
Yes. That was exactly who I had.
Ray Felton is probably the culprit.
It's almost got it. Like J.R. Smith is an option.
No.
But it's not like JR, as we know, like soup when he's in the locker room.
Man, I love this team.
Bro, I know somebody personally with Ray Felton. There was this cookie shop in Orlando.
Yeah.
He had like somebody specifically go to the cookie shop Almost like you were getting drugs for this fucking dude. But it had to be clandestine. Like, yo, don't be telling nobody that it's for Ray Felton, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Cookies.
That's incredible.
When he has a cookie spot when he flies into Orlando. I swear to God, bro. This is like, for real. I know the person that had to get the cookies.
No, I mean, I will say.
So it's definitely Ray Felton.
No, it's got to be Ray.
I would say passes the eye test. You know what I mean? Yeah.
There is that part.
I love that you know Wes Felton.
I didn't want to bring it up, but have you seen the guy recently?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the fact that a NBA Hall of Famer in Chauncey Billups is currently up on charges related to fixed poker games that employed high-tech cheating techniques, including invisible ink, including miniature cameras, including like hacked dealing machines. And this scheme involved like several members of La Cosa Nostra. And
I have an anecdote to share on that.
And then also, and Damon Jones, you know, one of the notable role players in recent NBA history, I guess you could say, is already caught up in this and will plead guilty, apparently, according to reports, like any time now. He's
pleading guilty on two separate things. One of them is Operation Royal Flush. Another one is selling insider information about LeBron James playing status. So, yeah, he's got double the pleasure, double the fun.
Yes, let's hear the anecdote.
So this story comes out and it's blowing up my phone, right? Obviously, like all my normie friends who know what I do for work, blowing me up. So I'm reading this shit and I'm reading the indictment, the players, and one of the names of the mafia guys is Nick something. I forget his name.
Let me see. Hold on.
And I'm like, wait a second, where do I know this fucking name from? It's this kid named Fat Nick. That was his name. I've met this kid. Partied with this guy a bunch of times in high school. So I went to this school called St. Francis Prep in Queens.
Yeah.
Predominantly white school. Some of your classmates live in places like Bayside or Whitestone. Some of them...
Are these fancy New York places?
No, like suburban Queens.
Got it. Okay.
And then some of them live in Howard Beach and Ozone Park, which is famously where
John Gotti
Got it. Okay.
and it's like a bunch of other mobs actually lived in these neighborhoods. And I've actually been to house parties there. And while at house parties in Ozone Park and Howard Beach.
Fat Nick Minucci.
Yep, Fat Nick. So rewind, almost a decade, definitely a decade plus earlier, two black kids got damn near lynched in Howard Beach.
Oh, is this the famous Yusef Hawkins case?
No, this is like
way after
I graduated high school.
Yeah.
And some goombas beat them up with baseball bats, all kinds of shit. Claimed they were stealing cars.
Not an uncommon occurrence in that part of
in Howard
Queens,
Beach.
Yeah.
Fat Nick was one of the guys that committed the fucking lynching, bro. No cap.
So Fat Nick,
and he's involved in this NBA shit. I've met this kid before.
Fat Nick, a Gambino crime family associate, member of one of these cheating teams that defrauded the victims. He, according to the charging documents, at one point there was a rival cheating team.
Sure.
Not associated with this group. They were also using one of these modified shuffling decks. Fat Nick recruited gunmen to heist back the hacked dealing machine from this other crew.
Oh my God.
And he, as you mentioned, he was previously convicted of a high-profile hate crime in 2006 when he used a baseball bat to attack a black man in Howard Beach.
Yes.
So he's currently detained without bail. And these are the fellas that Chauncey Billups was involved in. Now, Chauncey, it seems, it's unclear how he came to the attention of the folks, but his primary role was to make it look legit.
He was they call him a face card.
Right. It's like Chauncey Billups is here.
Yeah.
This can't be right. This can't be fake.
Yes.
It's got to be real. And in fact, in the charging documents, there's stories of like one Mark who was like so stoked to be there with like NBA champion Chauncey Billups that they kept like hitting cards on the river that made this guy lose. And, if you're playing Hold'em, it's like the last card that comes out, right? So it's like to do that 3 times in a row, which is what the charging documents say, is like statistically that can't happen. So like the other mobsters were like, we got to lose. You got to try and live. But the guy was so happy. He was like, I'm here with Jonathan. This is great. And he was just like, okay, there's keep going. Yeah. What did you think when this happened? I'm still in shock. And the fact that we don't even talk about it, too, is crazy to me.
I mean, the gambling part is something that I've become more aware of. Right, like before and especially after, just like how many guys are really have gambling issues.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like literally are degenerate gamblers who are, ex-professional athletes. Like, and it made me just think like, cause I'm just like, why would you do this shit?
Yeah. Damon Jones, from everything that is out there reported and in these documents, seems like he's been thrown a lifeline. Like the Lakers job was clearly, let's help Damon Jones out.
Yeah. LeBron probably was like, this is my guy.
Yeah.
Get him situated.
I think that
he was one of my vets when I was a young player.
I think even when he was in Cleveland, because him and T. Lue were boys, that was
And I'm just like, how do you get involved in something like this? It just makes me think it's just like these motherfuckers probably cheated you out of a bunch of money. You get in with them, and it's just like, bro, like, yo, can I do something else besides cash to help you guys out?
Yeah.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
You become a face card for these cheating ass games. That's what it feels like. These guys just got taken advantage of. Which, is no excuse. You're an adult. You're responsible for your behavior. Especially, like, if you're a player and you're roping in other players into this.
That's crazy.
To get robbed by these dudes.
Which happened.
God damn, bro. That is messed up. And I've heard, like, a lot of players have been hustled out of so much money. And not just the, like, because this is different. There's, like, the one level where players are just hyped to play against Phil Ivey.
Yeah.
Right.
And a bunch of other guys they never heard of, but, like, are just way better than you at poker. You have no fucking chance of winning. Yeah. And they just split the fucking earnings amongst themselves. But then this is just, like, tech involved. They're using robots and machines to cheat your ass.
It's really like you don't have a shot.
No, you
don't have a chance.
You have zero shot. Apparently, Billups was recruited into the scheme by Black Rob Stroud,
yeah. Gambino associate.
Yeah. And Stroud's strategy was to always have these face cards. Like Damon Jones was one when I guess they couldn't get Chauncey. These specific whales to make everybody feel at ease, like we're in this weird illegal poker game, high stakes poker game in someone's house. Chauncey's here; it's got to be legit. And
he's not going to put himself at risk. He's the coach of the Blazers.
I guess what surprised me was like how little money it was. Stroud at one point in the charging documents they mentioned that Stroud wired Billups through a third party $50,000, which is like
that's what he was paid to be the face card.
Yeah.
But again, that just means Chauncey might have just been into these guys.
Right, might have been into these guys or something.
So much money.
Yeah.
And if you're like, because you got to think about it, if you're super rich, you know how they say like, oh, the house always wins. But like, even if you're rich, like you can't beat that. And again, especially if these guys just cheated you.
I mean, here's what the cheating is. Incredible. So it used a modified deckmate electronic card shuffler that read the deck. So in other words, it's scanning the deck as it's shuffling and knows the order of every single card. Plus X-ray poker tables, so it could see through the top of the table. Hidden cameras in the chip tray.
Right.
So
I remember that. That detail's incredible.
So when you have your chip tray, like by your cards, it's like looking right at it. Marked cards readable through special contact lenses. This is the invisible ink. Total losses alleged $7.15 million over X amount of games. Again, backed by the Gambino crime family. And, I think a lot of people like myself were kind of, it seemed like the La Cosa Nostra thing and kind of like they'd gone away.
No, they're not in the heyday where they're like they've got their tentacles in the fucking Teamsters union and can give loans to people to buy casinos, entire casinos in Las Vegas. Like, it's not that, but they're just, their schemes are pettier like this.
Yeah.
It's not the same as opening the sands.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's not fucking casino.
Now, what's
right? Like, could you compare this to casino? It's like kind of penny ante. When you think about it.
What's interesting about this is 4 of the 5 major families were involved. So it was clearly like a negotiated, like, we're all going to share a piece of this.
Yeah.
Like, it was all of their guys involved in it. The Bananos had several people. It's the Bananos, the Gambinos, which is your guy, Nick Minucci, Fat Nick.
My God.
Fat Nick.
The Genovese and the Lucases. It was kind of like a classic tribute model where it's like, well, hold on. You got an illegal game going? I want in on the illegal game.
Yeah, always.
So where it stands now is Billups has been charged. He's pleaded not guilty. Jones will plead guilty, it seems like, soon.
Billups and Terry Rozier is another guy who's wrapped up in this. Rozier has also pled not guilty.
They're all out on bond. And Jones is apparently like set a date for a change of plea hearing, which I think suggests to everybody that he's going to cooperate, which is... I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do.
I'm not gonna.
Another part of this that struck me when it happened in the very beginning was, again, the fall of the mob, in the sense that Kash Patel, first of all,
we're going to talk about him.
Okay, so I knew who J. Edgar Hoover was.
Yes.
And Comey was the FBI head.
He was He was Comey for a little while.
He was the Kash Patel of his time.
Yeah, yes. Comey's the one that put Martha Stewart away.
So I knew J. Edgar Hoover.
Right.
I knew Comey because of Russia.
Yeah.
And I've never known an FBI head outside of that.
No.
Like, I don't know any of these people.
Yeah.
So it's like, I just recognize Kash Patel's like thirst for publicity.
Yeah.
And when he's announcing this shit, he's like, what they emphasized was, we took down some professional athletes, this big gambling ring.
Yeah.
And then when you realize, like, it's just kind of ridiculous. It sucks that the league and people involved in it. But I'm like, this ain't what they made it out to be.
They were just pumped up.
I will say this. I'll say this. Because the same thing struck me as well. You got a dozen plus mobsters involved in this.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. A dozen plus.
Like, and they glossed over it.
No, just to harp on the NBA shit.
Yeah, why is it the only black guys involved in this?
Families.
Or the face of this. That's all. I did notice that as well.
The guys who actually orchestrated and organized and benefited the most from the crime. I'm like, bro, this is the 5 families. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, fucking Rudy Giuliani, literally, we would have never heard of this guy if he didn't lock up a bunch of mobsters in the 80s.
Yeah.
Like, this guy made a whole life career off of this shit. Kash Patel was like, Damon Jones. Like, what?
They were so pumped up to deliver their, like, puns about the investigation, like, where it's like, you know, and on this court, odds are, if you cheat the game, you know, they're just so pumped up to be like, you know, like, and trust me, the house always wins. Like, just that sort of stuff.
You know, and a part of it, a part of it is like the Damon Jones is just so pathetic.
He's got a problem. Like,
Damon Jones, he's calling people the minute he hears LeBron isn't playing to like make plays.
When it was like happening, he's been doing this.
He's got that's a gentleman who needs to call the number. You know, on the gambling ads, like for real, like not a joke. He's got an issue.
And then the other part of it that matters to me anyway, in terms of the quote unquote integrity of the game and all these guys that have gotten caught, it's a couple of things. It's like, one, you can't do it. Like the idea that you're gonna cheat DraftKings or FanDuel or any of these guys, It's not gonna happen. And if you try to do this via unofficial channels,
that's when you're gonna
cheat Fat Nick and them.
Yeah,
they will kill you.
Yeah.
So it's like it's kind of a nice thing that this like stuff gets publicized. It's like, guys, like, you're never gonna be smart enough to win at this. Like, the games are designed for you to lose, my brother.
Yeah.
Not for you to win.
Well, that's where with the Jonte Porter of it all, which is how apparently the feds got wind of. There's a bunch of intersecting characters, and that's how they got on this particular scheme. I don't know. I look at Jonte and I'm like, this is the dumbest way. Yeah. I can't believe it took a year for them to catch this guy, which makes me think there's got to be smart money in the cheating, right? There's got to be people who know how to stay below whatever the algorithmic triggers on DraftKings or FanDuel are, that have to know like how to spread the bets.
But you'd have to be playing a really long game at that.
Yeah.
Right.
Like most people, like 9 out of 10 people just don't have that. I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's almost like the Office Space scheme where you're taking pennies at a time.
Yeah.
Like you'd have to be doing it a really long way. Like, because I was explaining this to my lady. She was like, well, how do they catch people? I'm like,
because
most people are betting on LeBron, Steph, KD, the Knicks,
anyone,
the Packers.
Yeah.
Not Jonte Porter.
Jonte Porter to get injured in the second quarter.
Why is there 500,000 of action on Jonte? Like what?
If I talked to anyone, stranger or not, and they told me that they had been putting money on Jonte Porter over
call the number.
That would be the most memorable interaction I had all year. It would be like that vaults that person top 10 strangest fuckers I've ever come across, right? Like, no, yes, I'm with you.
And I have friends who will bet Korean softball.
Yeah.
Because it's 3 a.m. here.
Yeah.
And
Sure,
there's nothing to
it's
bet
something
on.
to,
I have those friends.
Yeah.
They do this shit.
Yeah.
But it's $20.
Yeah.
It's $50. It's not gonna be hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands, and then that shit hits.
I know.
Excuse me, sir.
Come on now.
Well, that.
Excuse me, sir.
Come on now.
This is not leaving your fucking account. Sorry.
There's the on February 9th, 2023, game against the Bucks. That's whenever Damon Jones first does the "Hey, LeBron's not going to play." The second time that they're the second little thing in this piece that Ramona Shelburne wrote back in March. Prosecutors claim Jones also sold health information on another Lakers player ahead of a January 15th, 2024 game. I guess he obtained from the player's trainer. He shared that with other bettors and himself placed a $100,000 bet on the Lakers to lose that night. And that's what you're talking about, is like you can't help yourself.
And he borrowed that money too. There's no way that there's no way that he had
got 100,000. You're not doing this risky shit.
Damon Jones doesn't.
Yeah, no,
he don't got 100,000.
A shooting coach for LeBron James does not have $100,000 just hanging out.
No, he does not have
no
it.
shot.
No
and he
way.
didn't. He played in the early 2000s. It's not like he made a crazy.
He probably made $12 million or something
at
like that.
best.
Yeah.
And if you're, spending all that money on gambling, like that shit is poof gone. It's over. Yeah.
Well, let's go to our LUSID score. LUSID is a scoring system that we've created to figure out, like, how long are we going to be talking about these particular stories? How funny are they or not funny? How sinister? How intriguing? How dangerous? The score goes from 1 to 4. So from 1 to 4. Legs. Do these stories have legs? Are we going to continue to be talking about them?
The Dolan situation.
Yeah. Let's just do the Dolan.
Let's just
1 to 4 on legs. I'm gonna give it a 2.5.
I think that's probably right. I think we will forget about this after a little while because this has been out there. Unintentional comedy. Is it funny in any kind of way?
Everything involving James Dolan is pretty funny because he's such a loser. Like. Just loser vibes all over him.
If you don't know,
paying Jewel to go on tour with her.
I mean, that's crazy.
If you don't know, he has Americana band called JD and the Straight Shot. This is a real thing that he has. He's like up there. He fancies himself like a jazz man kind of, and is like wearing fedoras and shit. The song, it's really terrible, terrible music. He's released 3 albums. Honestly, wait, because I wrote this down. Can I pause this for a second?
Yeah.
I wrote so he's written 3 albums. I'm going to read you 4 albums. And you got to tell me which one is the fake one.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Good Luck and Good Night.
Okay.
Ballyhoo with a question with an exclamation point at the end. The Vagabond's Notebook. The Great Divide.
I'm going to be Ballyhoo.
You think Ballyhoo's the fake one?
Yeah.
Good Luck and Good Night is the fake one.
The Vagabond's Notebook is the fake one.
The Vagabond's Notebook.
Now, I mean, I feel like I talk about this every time. You know, he wrote a song about Harvey Weinstein titled "I Should Have Known."
Yeah.
This is after Harvey Weinstein, his fall from grace
He got Me Too?
on multiple sexual assault charges. James Dolan wrote a song basically saying like how. Let me read some of the lyrics.
Harvey Weinstein was his boy.
That was his boy, and so his whole thing was that. Here's the first verse. We were friends. We were friends. Talk for hours without end. About his latest story, how to deal with fame and glory, all the girls who adored him, catered to his every whim. Nothing he could lose. All he could do was choose. I should have known. I should have known. I should have thrown myself across his tracks, stopped him from these vile acts. I should have known. We believed and didn't see through the lies he told us all. They led him to his endless fall. I should have known. I should have known. Which is...
You know what I will say about the power of Me Too? Even a brute like James Dolan had a libtard moment.
Yeah, well, he had to be like, man, I got to look in the mirror.
Even Dolan caught the fucking Holy Ghost of Me Too.
He had to look in the mirror and be like, who am I?
And he's a right-wing psychopath. So that's crazy. Even he was like, all right, I'm kind of lived out right now. That was kind of fucked up, Harvey.
So, okay, unintentional comedy, 1 to 4.
Ooh, definitely a 4
give it
for
a 4.
me.
Sinisterness, is it a sinister story?
It's pretty sinister, too.
I agree. What do you think?
4.
Okay, give that a 4. Intrigue, is it intriguing?
Not really.
Yeah,
I mean,
agree.
it's in line with so much shit that we
it's
deal
everywhere.
with. It's like a 1.5 on Intrigue for me.
We'll give it a 1. We'll round down to 1. And Danger, is it a dangerous story? This
dangerous
one in
terms of what?
Dangerous in terms of...
The people reporting on it could get hurt?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
So is
it's
a
not
1
dangerous.
or a 0?
It's a 0 because there's nothing anybody can do. Like, you're done. Like, these motherfuckers in the White House. These motherfuckers are down with the most powerful people on planet Earth. You could put your little story on Wired and us and Pablo could have a field day. There's nothing we could do.
I think ultimately, like, with regards to surveillance, in particular surveillance in public places and entertainment spaces, what's going to happen is there's going to be no real, like, legislation or government action to like rein in this stuff, and it's just gonna be like, hey man, don't be loud about it. Don't be crazy and chasing teenagers down in Colorado. Just be quiet and
we just whip this
compile your
shit
dossiers and sell it to ICE, and that's all.
A guy shoots a CEO in the middle of Midtown for being a CEO. That's when we deploy this shit.
That's when it goes.
Because that can't stand.
Right.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers talking shit on Reddit and Twitter?
Yeah.
It's Twitter.
Yeah.
Why are you deploying this for that?
So that's an 11 out of 20. I think James is gonna be upset if he's gonna ban us for anything. It's gonna be that we didn't give him a higher lucid score. Okay, let's do the doom scroll.
All right. Woz, welcome to Doomscroll. We just some stories that have been making us kind of raise our eyebrows a little bit. We're like, hey, we're going to keep some tabs on that one.
Let's keep them. Yeah.
First one, let's just jump right into Russini.
Yeah.
Oh, Russini.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Russini, Vrabel.
Russini and Vrabel. Dianna Russini, who formerly of The Athletic, NFL insider, got
photographed,
aired out
sure.
When she was at a resort with Vrabel, among others, maybe. Who knows? But
that's
the
unclear,
only person that was in the pictures was Vrabel. They were seen hugging. They were seen poolside, blah, blah, blah. She resigns from The Athletic recently. A day after she resigns from the Athletic, she reportedly rescues an elderly man and his dog from a car crash in New Jersey. She was driving behind this 73-year-old dude who got into a crash, and the Jeep flipped on its side. According to the report, she stops, someone lifts her on top of the Jeep, and she reaches in and helps the old guy and the dog out.
Not to besmirch Diana's bravery and courageousness in this situation. My immediate thought when I saw this and the timing was like, man, she's got a good PR team.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
They'd be like, don't forget, she's saving lives.
Yeah.
I thought, man, they got right to it.
They got. I have a take.
Yeah.
I'm not the most plugged in NFL person, but I think that this is what I think. If you get caught like this, I question your game day preparation. I question your attention to detail.
Yes.
They were just like at some regular nice resort in Arizona. There are places where rich people go where nobody can see you and nobody can take a picture of you and people can't get into like the sauna or whatever. Go to Cancun, go to Tulum. Why are you just at some golf course?
Yeah.
Like, this is dumb.
One, I think she's one of the best people at her job. This idea that because this idea that she's not credible now, that she somehow, I don't know, like slept her way to the top. Like, that's not how this game works, bro. Like, people have to like you and trust you.
Yeah.
It's not that, you gave them some freaking trim and now you're fucking in with people. That shit don't work like that.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's like crazy to acknowledge that, these people shouldn't have been committing adultery and all of that shit. And journalistically, it's unethical.
Yeah.
But I was talking to my guy, Ethan Strauss, about this. I was like, bro, this just ain't the same as Maggie Haberman fucking Trump.
No, there's no nukes involved. You know what I mean? Like, there's no...
Nobody's sports, guys.
Nobody's getting killed out
You
here.
should have integrity, but like... We do sports, y'all.
It's fun.
I'm sorry. I can't fucking lose sleep.
Yeah.
Because this lady might have been intimate with Mike Vrabel on the low.
Right.
And what I was going to say about the Vrabel thing, it's like, it's not unexpected that a NFL head coach is a dog.
No.
Yeah, but you gotta think ahead.
You
gotta think about, and I'll just say that this is my final thing on it. I think the ultimate PR move, if you're Vrabel Russini, you'd be like, it's my person. I'm in love. Like, what do you? Everybody hating on this,
Mark
like,
Sanford.
Everybody hating on this. I guess you hate love.
Yeah.
Like, there was just something energy. Like, I felt like I had met my soulmate, and that's it. We're together.
You thought I should ignore destiny and fate?
I see.
Okay.
So I guess you've never been in love.
My fault. You're right. I should ignore fate. You're right.
You don't have that.
I can't. Because I've seen it a bunch of places where they're like, so she has to resign and he gets to get. I'm like, guys, in the coach integrity handbook, adultery is not one of the forbidden rules.
Well, so I will now paraphrase producer C's conspiracy theory. This is not mine.
Sure.
But I like this one. She was up for a new contract in 2 months. And the conspiracy theory is...
The Times got her?
The conspiracy is the Times were like, we know about this. We don't want to pay her. Let's get out from under this.
Sheesh. That would be pretty ruthless. My theory on this is that like they just got unlucky.
They got unlucky. I think so too.
Around.
You're like, is that Mike Vrabel?
Yeah. And Dianna Russini.
Like, is that?
Didn't you recognize this lady?
Yeah.
You're a fucking dork, bro.
Yeah.
You're just a sports dork, and you're way too into this shit. Cause like, bro, I've seen Russini on Lebatard, a shit ton, all of that. I cannot say for sure, bro. Like, and I know who this chick is. That if I saw her at a pool in Arizona, that I would immediately recognize her.
No way.
I don't recognize Vrabel for sure, but I don't think it would have fucking clocked to me. And I'm somebody in this fucking industry that it was her.
But that's what I'm saying, man. On an Arizona resort, that's where you're gonna get recognized. Someone zoomed in with that Android phone, 12x zoom. They got you. They don't even need a special lens. You know what I mean?
If there is something going on there,
I wish them well.
I wish them, best of luck. It's funny that one of the only real pictures they got of them was from a football field away of them kind of hugging on a roof. Because if it's me and I'm like, give me some kissing. Like, what there's got to be some kissing up there, right? So, you think they're holding it back? You think they've got more info? They got more in the chamber?
I think they're ready to escalate.
They got another bullet in the chamber, and that's the kissing pics?
A buddy of mine presented something that seems a little bit more plausible to me, is that they're not currently fucking, but they used to.
Oh,
and
I
that's
like that.
why there's a familiarity there.
Physical.
Yeah, a comfort with that.
Interesting.
And it's like, we don't do this shit no more. I'll let you cut a couple times. A few years
What's
ago.
Next? What's next?
You know what I mean?
Okay, so the Onion is officially buying InfoWars now. This is happening. They reached an agreement to take over. This is Alex Jones' InfoWars company. Alex Jones, terrible person. Where to even begin?
Yeah,
the Sandy Hook family should get to wake up every morning and kick him in the nuts. He's a terrible person. It's subject to court approval, but it's this takeover of InfoWars is backed by the Sandy Hook families, which is cool. The new version of InfoWars is supposed to operate as a digital platform and a comedy network that Tim Heidecker from Tim and Eric, from On Cinema at the Cinema, from Office Hours, any number of great things. He's going to be the creative director of this, and he's going to parody Jones himself. If you have never seen Tim Heidecker's Alex Jones, please go seek it out. It's an unbelievable impression. But yeah, Jones had a shirtless meltdown at the news. If we can put this up at some point.
Well, he still owes the family.
Here we go.
Oh yeah, let's watch this.
You can't take something over and then act like you're somebody, even if you say it's a parody. You can do a parody of somebody, but none of you took something from them.
Right.
We've already checked with lawyers, so they're in deep shit. I'm already suing the Democrat Party law firms. You think, look, just because you're wearing my shirt, don't mean you're me. So let's be 100% clear about that. And so you guys just keep laughing, just like you did a year and a half ago, or it was November 2024. Mm-hmm. Was that about a year and a half?
That guy's so uncomfortable.
Is that about a year and a half? Was that 12 months? 15 months? So wait, did he barge into the now Onion-owned InfoWars set?
I don't
and
know.
started haranguing like the anchor? What is happening?
No, I think that's one of his InfoWars minions that
one of his offshoots.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
But yeah,
he still owes the families, I think, like $1 billion.
I mean, it's more than $1 billion.
Okay,
but yeah,
get on the payment plan.
Yeah.
What's next?
Kash Patel.
Oh yes.
Referenced earlier. He's suing the Atlantic. the Atlantic last week published a piece that was titled "The FBI Director is MIA." Deeply reported. It painted a picture of just a paranoid drunk who's in over his head, basically, and
probably doing more than alcohol.
Doing more than alcohol for sure.
He's got the entire evidence room of the FBI at his disposal.
I think he's. Yeah. I
need them to weigh those packages at the end of his term. Okay?
No, I think he's been snow skiing several times in that office there, but he apparently couldn't log into his own computer at one point, and when that happened, he assumed he had gotten fired.
This is amazing. That's an amazing story.
Fucking loser.
That he called people to say, guys, it's been a good one. I got the axe.
I'm out, guys. Put out the press release. I'm out.
To be thinking that a job that is as important as FBI director, you're going to find out you got fired just because you can't log in?
Bro.
I think my favorite detail in the story was that there were multiple occasions where they had to get an FBI breaching team, the guys with like the door ram, because he was so drunk,
so cooked,
that he was not waking up.
They had to request special equipment that's usually used by SWAT because dude is passed out and locked in a room. Oh, he also, another little fun fact of that is he expressed some frustration with how some of the FBI merch looks.
Yeah, he didn't like
because he wants it to be a little more intimidating.
He wants it to look like UFC stuff. I think my favorite, another great part of this is, so he is suing the Atlantic for $250 million. Which I think is, my galaxy brain theory is that he wants a way out now.
Oh yeah.
Like he's looking for a way out, and he's hoping that this will be the way. Like, just like release me from the Fed job. I hate it. That said, this is his second defamation suit that he has filed for someone claiming that he's a drunk. So he's got 2 of these out there now.
Yeah. I thought, is 2 a pattern? I guess it's got to be 3 to be a pattern.
The whole administration is drunks. They got Pete Keg's breath.
Keg's breath.
Which is like, he's just so obviously like an annoying, aggressive drunk. Like he's that person at the bar who's like, starting shit with people.
Yes.
And Kash is just dancing and keg stands.
No. Yeah, he's just like.
I think he's making some of the women feel uncomfortable, and it's like, I think there's some of that stuff. I think he's
aggro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
My wife's a fucking bitch.
Yes, he's that guy. Yeah. There's an 11th missing scientist.
Okay, let's hear about it. So this has been a story. I don't even follow the story.
Are these scientists related to UFOs?
One of them is.
Okay.
One of the guys worked at Wright Patterson. Do you
guys have UFO thoughts?
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. I hope that. Well, first of all, I'll say this. I believe that there are things in the sky that nobody knows what they are. The government has come out and said as much, like, we don't know what that is. Is it? We're just not sure what it is.
Yeah.
That said, if there are aliens, it's show and prove time now. Like, the cameras are too good now. We talked about the 12x zoom on the Android phones. I want good footage of an alien stepping out of the UFO. I want good footage of the UFO zipping like over the airport. Like, sure. I don't want any of this blurry shit anymore. Like, I want like a footprint. I want to see an alien, burning its name into the side of a cow. Like, for real.
Yeah.
It's show and prove time at this point. But I don't know if they're real.
Can I say something?
Sure.
I remember when Barry got the drone warfare going.
Yeah.
President Barack Obama.
Yes.
I had
a pioneer in that.
I had a pioneer in the field. I had an epiphany. Literally, I was like, "Oh, that's what UFOs are." They were just testing the latest kill machines,
the latest drones.
Yeah, and they didn't want to tell us. It was just like, we're not going to acknowledge that we've created new ways to kill people.
Yeah.
Right.
With these fucking robot airplanes.
Right.
Because people they just whiz on by and we don't have that technology.
Now,
yeah, we do.
There are a few.
That's what I think this new shit is, just like the next gen of the killing machine.
There are a few famous like testimonials from, there's a famous Navy testimonial called the Tic Tac, where the guy was claiming that he was like banking over the ocean. He saw this thing down there and it was like making the ocean boil, and then it just went like whoop and just went straight up in the air very fast. Now, there's no footage of that, but I find the testimony compelling. That said, to your point about drones, and to me the thing with UFOs is, show me footage of it doing something that there's no way a drone or an aircraft can do, where it's like moving so fast.
People were convinced of the New Jersey ones that was it. The drones can't move that quick and zigzag like that.
They can though. And the other thing is, the New Jersey ones, like, I'm sorry to the people in New Jersey, if it had lights on it, that's a drone that someone is flying.
Yeah.
Because those are FAA lights and they have to have those. So that's an aircraft that somebody knows about. That's all. With regards to this 11th missing scientist, I'll just say that this case is from 2022.
Yes.
And while there are some interesting things with it, including the person saying that I'm in good health and I feel very happy and I feel like my life is in danger, and then finding them dead, I feel like I need a new case, not cases where we're looking back. And that's
Oh, so they're finding
stuff in the past,
making them into a pattern.
Yes.
Part of it is she co-founded the Institute for Exotic Science, and her work is described as focused on experimental propulsion techniques.
But why weren't we? See, this is my thing.
Institute for Exotic Science.
Why weren't people why wasn't law enforcement before? Like, like, you know what I mean? Like, I hear you, and that's so. I just feel like this is. If I wanted to get really conspiratorial, this is like this is a psyop to build support for whatever they're going to be like, oh, it's China killing our scientists. Right. We got to go to war.
Is that where people are taking it? That
no,
China's...
not yet. But
well, some people people think are like basically defecting to China, like going.
I do think one of the guys defected to China. Like, that is a theory that I do have.
So they're communist sympathizers.
I do believe that one of them may have done
theory.
That.
I love that theory, actually.
We will continue to keep up on this.
That's a hopeful theory.
The last thing, we got to talk about this RFK raccoon dick story really quick.
Yes, okay. I saw the penis of the raccoon. The raccoon had an incredible penis, and I just thought
I've never tried an RFK. I can't bring myself to do it.
There's a lot of physical power and vitamins in the penis of a raccoon, and when you take the penis of a raccoon, you can squeeze out the nutrients and the vitamins.
Yeah. Are there healing powers in raccoon dick? Is that what we're doing here?
It's from a quote, RFK Jr., The Fall and Rise. The quote in the book reads...
I was standing in front of my parked car on I-684, cutting the penis out of a roadkill raccoon, thinking about how weird some of my family members have turned out to be.
He also notes... Do you have that?
No, yeah. As I was cutting the penis off of the raccoon, my kids waited patiently in the car.
So not only is he cutting the dick off a raccoon.
With a raccoon and then went to cut his dick off?
He just like with his butterfly knife was like, shh.
Yeah. Well, this guy's clearly like walking around with. He's got some machetes in the trunk or something.
No,
like there's some. This is a true lunatic. But yeah, he's not just cutting the dick off the raccoon. His kids are in the car watching him do it.
Now this is not. I will say that this is so far.
Father of the Year.
I will say that this is so far unverified. TMZ has reached out to our Secretary of Health to find out if this is legit, but no confirmation as of yet that he did.
The bear in Central Park.
Yeah, that is legit.
Yes, he says that he cut off in this story. The reason that he swiftly cut off the dick was that he wanted to study it later.
Yeah, of course. I wanted to take it home and get it under some good light. The light.
Are raccoons known to have special dicks?
Let's ask.
I couldn't tell you a thing about raccoon dick.
Secretary Kennedy, if you could reach out to us and let us know.
We'd love to have you on. We'll just talk about raccoon dicks.
That's it. Woz, thank you so much for joining us.
Proud to be on here with you guys.
Appreciate you all.